3 dark truths about Jason Statham that Hollywood hides.
What if I told you that the man who became Hollywood's most fearless action star was running from a past that could have destroyed him before he ever threw a single punch on screen?
Chapter 1. The Criminal Underworld Connection.
Before Jason Statham was a household name, before he was even an actor, he was something else entirely, something darker. And it all started on the streets of East London. The year was 1993. Statham was 26 years old, lean and hungry, but not for stardom. He was hungry for survival. His Olympic diving dreams had collapsed. No sponsors, no money, no future. And in the shadows of London's underground economy, opportunity was calling. What Hollywood glosses over is this: Jason Statham wasn't just some working-class kid who got lucky. He was deeply embedded in London's street market scene, but not in the way his publicists describe it. Yes, he sold perfume and jewelry, but the markets he worked weren't your typical tourist-friendly stalls. These were the grey markets, the places where stolen goods changed hands, where knockoff luxury items were sold as real, where cash transactions left no paper trail and questions were never asked. Statham has admitted in interviews that he was a market trader and a barrow boy, but what he doesn't elaborate on is the nature of that trade. In those markets, in that era, survival meant bending the rules, and Jason Statham bent them hard. Former associates from that time, speaking on condition of anonymity, have painted a different picture. They describe a young Statham who was charismatic, yes, but also ruthless in business. Someone who could talk his way into and out of anything. Someone who moved in circles that attracted the attention of people you didn't want to cross. One particular story has circulated for years among London insiders. In 1994, Statham allegedly got involved in a deal that went sideways. Details are scarce, but the rumor involves a shipment of watches, expensive ones, that disappeared before reaching their buyer. Statham was reportedly questioned, but never charged. The incident vanished from official records, buried beneath layers of legal maneuvering and payoffs. Why does this matter? Because it reveals something crucial about the man who would become Hollywood's moral enforcer on screen. He understood the criminal mind, not from research or method acting, but from lived experience. He knew what it meant to operate outside the law, and that knowledge, that edge, is what makes his performances so viscerally authentic. But here's where it gets darker. In 1997, just months before he was cast in his breakthrough role in Lock, Stock and Two Smoking Barrels, Statham was allegedly involved in an incident at a London nightclub. Witnesses reported a violent altercation involving Statham and several other men. One person was hospitalized. Police were called, but the case was dropped within 48 hours. No charges, no record, no explanation. How does someone make a criminal investigation disappear overnight? The answer lies in who Statham had become connected to by that point. Guy Ritchie, the director who would launch his career, wasn't just some film school graduate. Ritchie came from wealth and moved in powerful circles. His connections ran deep into British high society, law enforcement, and the entertainment industry. Some investigators believe that Ritchie's influence helped erase Statham's past, scrubbing clean the record of a man who was about to become a valuable commodity. The timing was too perfect, the silence too complete. Jason Statham's transformation from street hustler to movie star wasn't just about talent or opportunity. It was about reinvention, about burying the truth so deep that only whispers remain. But the past never truly dies. It lingers in the shadows, waiting.
Chapter 2. The Stunt That Nearly Killed Him.
March 2014. The coast of Bulgaria. Jason Statham was filming a scene for The Expendables 3 when something went catastrophically wrong. What happened next was nearly buried by one of the most aggressive PR campaigns Hollywood has ever deployed. The official story? Statham's truck's brakes failed during a stunt, and the vehicle plunged into the Black Sea. Statham, being the tough guy he is, calmly swam to safety. Everyone laughed it off. Stallone praised his calm under pressure. The story became another chapter in the Statham legend. But that's not what really happened. According to multiple crew members who spoke off the record, The incident wasn't a simple mechanical failure. It was the result of catastrophic negligence by the film's production team, compounded by Statham's own refusal to follow safety protocols. Here's what they're not telling you. Statham insisted on doing the stunt himself, despite warnings from the stunt coordinator that the vehicle hadn't been properly rigged for water entry. The brakes weren't just faulty, they'd been deliberately disabled for the shot. But the safety divers who were supposed to be in position, they weren't there. Budget cuts had reduced the safety team, and on that particular day, only one diver was present, instead of the required 4. When Statham's truck hit the water, it didn't just sink slowly as reported, it plummeted, nose first, trapping him inside for nearly 45 seconds. The water was 40 degrees Fahrenheit. Hypothermia begins setting in at 60 seconds. Statham survived, not because of Hollywood heroics, but because of his Olympic diving training. He knew how to control panic, how to conserve oxygen, how to find his way out in disorienting conditions. But when he surfaced, he wasn't the calm action hero the press reported. Witnesses say he was shaking, furious, and screaming at the director. Production shut down for 3 days, not for Statham's recovery, but for emergency meetings with lawyers and studio executives. Here's where the cover-up begins. Within hours, every crew member was required to sign expanded non-disclosure agreements, with penalties exceeding $1 million for violations. Cell phones were confiscated and checked for video footage. One production assistant who had filmed the incident on their personal phone was fired on the spot and escorted off set by security. The Bulgarian authorities opened an investigation into the accident, but it was quietly closed within a week. No findings, no report. Lionsgate, the studio behind the film, has never released any internal documentation about the incident, despite multiple Freedom of Information requests. But it gets worse. 2 months after the incident, the stunt coordinator who had warned against the shot was fired from another production without explanation. He's never worked on a major Hollywood film since. When contacted by investigators, he declined to comment, citing legal obligations. Why would a studio go to such extreme lengths to bury what they claimed was a simple accident? The answer is liability. If the truth came out that safety protocols were violated, that crew was inadequate, that Statham himself had pushed for a dangerous stunt against advice, the lawsuits would have been catastrophic. Not just for the production, but for Statham's insurability. In Hollywood, if you become uninsurable, you become unemployable. So they buried it. They turned a near-death experience caused by negligence into a heroic anecdote that enhanced Statham's brand. But here's the final twist that makes this truly dark. Statham agreed to the cover-up. He could have spoken out. He could have demanded accountability. Instead, he signed the NDAs, collected his paycheck, and went on to promote the film like nothing had happened. Because in Hollywood, survival isn't just about escaping death. It's about knowing when to stay silent.
Chapter 3. The woman he erased from history.
Every Hollywood leading man has a carefully curated image. The women they date, the relationships they publicize, the love stories that humanize them for audiences. Jason Statham's romantic history fits this mold perfectly. Long-term relationship with model Kelly Brook. Later, marriage to model Rosie Huntington-Whiteley. Beautiful, glamorous, safe. But there's a woman missing from this narrative. A woman who was systematically erased from Jason Statham's history. And the reason why reveals just how ruthless the machinery of fame can be. Her name was Sophie Monk. No, wait, that's not entirely accurate. Her real name has been obscured, scrubbed from databases, removed from photo archives. For the purposes of this story, we'll call her Elena. Elena was a Romanian actress and model who met Statham in 2003. During the filming of The Transporter. She was 23, he was 36. According to those who knew them, their relationship was intense, passionate, and by all accounts, serious. They were together for nearly 2 years, but then something happened that changed everything. In 2005, Elena discovered she was pregnant. According to a source close to Elena's family, she was ecstatic. Statham's reaction was different. At that point in his career, he was on the verge of major stardom. Transporter 2 2 was in production. Hollywood was calling, and a pregnant girlfriend who wasn't famous, who wasn't British, who wasn't part of the acceptable narrative, that was a problem. What happened next is where the story turns truly dark. Elena was allegedly presented with 2 options: quietly terminate the pregnancy and sign an NDA with a substantial financial settlement, or proceed with the pregnancy and face a coordinated legal and PR assault that would destroy her reputation and ensure she never worked in entertainment again. The choice was no choice at all. Elena disappeared from Statham's life within weeks. Photos of the couple were systematically removed from agency databases. Interview mentions were scrubbed. The few tabloid stories that had covered their relationship were buried by new, more favorable press about Statham's bachelor lifestyle. But Elena didn't just vanish. According to European entertainment lawyers familiar with the case, she signed one of the most comprehensive NDA agreements they'd ever seen. The settlement was reportedly in the 7-figure range. But it came with conditions. No contact with media, no memoir, no future claims, and absolute silence about the relationship's end. If she violated the agreement, she would owe back the entire settlement plus penalties that would bankrupt her for life. Elena returned to Romania. She never acted again. She never spoke publicly about Statham. To this day, most fans have no idea she ever existed. But here's what makes this story even more chilling. Elena wasn't the only one. Over the years, at least 2 other women have reportedly signed similar agreements with Statham's legal team. The details vary, but the pattern is consistent. Relationships that become inconvenient are terminated with extreme prejudice, both legally and literally from the public record. This isn't just about protecting privacy. This is about manufacturing a persona so complete that inconvenient truths cease to exist. It's about having enough money and power to rewrite your own history. In 2015, a journalist attempted to investigate Elena's story for a European publication. They managed to track her down in Bucharest. She agreed to meet, then cancelled at the last minute. Days later, the journalist's editor killed the story, citing legal concerns. The journalist later revealed they'd received a cease and desist letter from a London law firm representing Statham, threatening legal action if publication proceeded. The story never ran. Elena's silence held. Today, Jason Statham presents himself as the devoted partner to Rosie Huntington-Whiteley and father to their children. The image is perfect. The narrative is clean. But underneath that carefully constructed surface lies a graveyard of erased relationships and silenced voices. Because that's the price of stardom in Hollywood. Not just what you achieve, but what you're willing to bury to keep it.
Hey, you're back! Drop your thoughts about Jason Statham in the comments, and if you liked this story, click here. I promise you'll enjoy it too.